Today makes it exactly 2 months since baby Emmanuel was declared missing. 2 months of questions, whispers, and sleepless nights for a community that refuses to forget. 2 months of silence that feels heavier than words. From the first day his name was announced, people everywhere followed the story with hope that he would be found, that somehow a miracle was waiting at the end of all this confusion. But the longer the days stretched, the quieter everything seemed to become. At first, updates came quickly, search teams, statements, tips. Then, suddenly, almost nothing. Official briefings slowed, press coverage dimmed, and what remained were fragments, incomplete reports, scattered memories, and the haunting uncertainty of not knowing what really happened. That silence raised the question no one wanted to ask: what if there's nothing left to find? Investigators are now quietly reviewing evidence suggesting the unthinkable. There may be no physical remains to recover at all. If that's true, this isn't only a search for what was lost, it's a search for truth itself. Our review of publicly available documents, community statements, and verified reports shows one undeniable fact. Something about this case doesn't line up neatly. Timelines conflict, recollections shift, and official updates remain carefully measured. What could that mean? Was it human error, trauma, or something deeper? Behind the scenes, law enforcement continues to cross-check every detail. They've revisited witness statements, examined early search zones, and built a chronological map of everything that happened before Emmanuel disappeared. Yet, each time a new lead appeared, it ended the same way, with more uncertainty. The first major search focused on an area near the family's home. Neighbors volunteered, dogs and drones swept the grounds, but after days of effort, nothing conclusive was found. Later, attention turned to another location entirely, a place mentioned in one of the early accounts. Again, officers scoured the land, only to walk away empty-handed. As the weeks passed, the story shifted from one possibility to another. Some believed Emmanuel had been taken elsewhere. Others thought a tragic household accident might explain the silence. But every version contradicted the next, leaving investigators tangled in a web of inconsistencies. When our team began independently reviewing the available materials, we noticed that every statement carried its own timeline, its own emotional logic, and its own missing pieces. It was like trying to assemble a puzzle where each witness remembered a different picture. One line stood out in the records: search concluded with no discovery. Those 5 words changed everything. If no discovery was made, then what was left to guide the next step? The answer, it seemed, was hidden in the details most people overlooked. A resident nearby provided photos from the earliest volunteer efforts. In one image, a faint ditch line appeared behind a fence, a small, almost invisible mark that had never been mentioned in official reports. Maybe it meant nothing. Or maybe it was a reminder that in any investigation, even small details can matter later. Still, officials remained cautious. They knew speculation spreads faster than truth. One misleading rumor can undo months of work, so silence became a form of protection, not of secrets, but of accuracy. Yet for the public, that silence felt unbearable. Across social media, the hashtag Justice for Emmanuel kept trending. People prayed, posted, organized candlelight vigils, and refused to let the story fade away. Before we go further, please take a second to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the Agent Tim channel. Every interaction helps the story stay visible, reminding those in power that people are still watching and waiting. Inside the official investigation, analysts began focusing on what they called movement gaps. These are missing minutes in a timeline, brief windows where no one can say for sure where events occurred or who was involved. In missing person cases, those gaps are often the key. When you compare statements and find the same moment described 2 or 3 different ways, it tells you not that people are lying, but that memory itself is under strain. Shock, fear, confusion, they can blur time. But sometimes those blurs also reveal where truth might be hiding. By the 4th week, investigators had gathered enough to see that this wasn't a simple disappearance, it was a layered story, one built on emotion, panic, and silence. And that silence began to spread beyond the immediate family. Community members who once spoke freely started saying less. Some told reporters they didn't want to say the wrong thing. Others said they just wanted peace. It's possible they were tired. It's possible they were afraid of misinterpretation. But it also highlighted the tension at the heart of the case. Everyone wanted closure, yet no one wanted to reopen pain. When we interviewed residents for context, they spoke not with anger, but with fatigue. "We just need truth," one said. "Not blame, just truth." That statement became our compass, because the longer you follow a case like this, the clearer it becomes that truth isn't about accusation, it's about light. Over the next few weeks, authorities shifted strategy again. Without physical evidence, they turned to digital patterns. Phone records, message logs, and social media footprints. Every click, every timestamp, every ping tells a small part of a larger story. The focus moved from land to data, from physical search to behavioral analysis. If Emmanuel's story was hidden, it might be hiding not underground, but in someone's memory or device. Forensics teams began reconstructing the chronology, when each call was made, who was present, what was said. They weren't hunting for someone to blame, they were hunting for consistency, because in truth, consistency is its own kind of evidence. Community advocates noticed the change. Instead of gathering search parties, they started organizing discussions about transparency. They asked questions, wrote open letters, and requested updates from local officials. Slowly, the case evolved from a tragedy to a movement demanding accountability. By the 6th week, the investigation entered what insiders called the consolidation phase. This is when every piece of data, testimony, photos, digital records, is merged into one comprehensive timeline. The goal? To build an unbroken story of what happened from the last confirmed moment Emmanuel was seen to the first official response afterward. That's when something unexpected surfaced, patterns in how people remembered. Some statements adjusted subtly over time. A word changed here, a time changed there. Not enough to prove deceit, but enough to make investigators look twice. We spoke with a retired detective who explained inconsistency doesn't always mean guilt. Sometimes it means trauma. Sometimes people rewrite memory to survive it. Those words reframed everything, because this wasn't just a legal puzzle, it was human. Meanwhile, Emmanuel's name continued to echo online. Viewers like you kept watching, commenting, and sharing. And that attention matters. It tells officials that someone is still listening, still asking, still caring. If you believe every missing child deserves a voice, drop a comment below and let's keep Emmanuel's story alive together. The deeper we looked, the clearer it became. Every missing answer points back to one universal truth. Silence protects nothing forever. Sooner or later, what's hidden comes to light. Behind the scenes, data analysts and community leaders began to collaborate indirectly, comparing timelines, matching dates, and verifying facts already public. Their findings pointed to one simple but powerful conclusion. This investigation may not end at a discovery site. It might end in understanding or even confession. In every case of disappearance, there's a moment when the search stops being about recovery and starts being about revelation. Emmanuel's case has reached that point, because even if no physical remains are ever found, justice still requires truth, and truth can't be buried. As we stand here, 2 months later, the question still lingers in the air. Where is baby Emmanuel, and what really happened on that day? For investigators, the case remains active. For the community, it remains personal. Every corner of this story holds pain, but also a strange kind of unity,
People who never met Emmanuel now speak his name with love and determination, refusing to let it fade from public memory. Some say time heals, but time without answers can feel like another wound. Still, the people who cared for him most continue to hope, not just for closure, but for truth. From the latest verified updates, authorities are still working through the digital analysis stage, reviewing message data, matching call histories, and reconstructing the events leading up to his disappearance. It's slow, it's technical, but it's progress. Each log checked brings the investigation one step closer to clarity. Community members continue to send in verified leads through official channels, and even though most turn out inconclusive, each submission proves something powerful. People have not given up. In quiet corners, prayers are still being said. In church gatherings, his name still echoes. And online, the comment sections beneath every post about Emmanuel tell a story of a public unwilling to let him vanish from his history.
The truth is, this case has become more than just about one missing child. It's become a reflection of how society reacts when innocence disappears. It shows how fragile trust can be and how hope survives even in confusion. Detectives familiar with the case say the key now lies in verification, piecing together verified data with earlier statements to remove any remaining uncertainty. That's the phase the case is in now, precision over speed. And while the process is long, the community's patience is starting to pay off. A few weeks ago, investigators confirmed that several digital devices linked to the family have undergone complete forensic review. Every file, every timestamp, every deleted message is being checked for relevance. That doesn't mean guilt, it means diligence. In the world of justice, details are the difference between assumption and truth. What began as a desperate search in fields and creeks has transformed into a careful study of records and timelines. But through it all, Emmanuel's story remains the heart of it, a reminder that every statistic has a face, and every investigation represents a family still waiting. Some local advocates have begun calling for improved public communication in missing child cases, suggesting that more transparent briefings could help reduce misinformation. Officials have acknowledged the calls, but maintain that protecting the integrity of the case remains their top priority. And that's fair, because in sensitive cases like this, one wrong public statement can cause irreversible damage. The key is balance, protecting privacy while honoring the public's need for truth. What makes the story so painful is that it touches every human emotion: loss, confusion, suspicion, and hope. But it also proves something beautiful, that love doesn't expire. 2 months later, strangers still light candles, still share his photo, still believe there's more to uncover. To everyone watching this right now, your voice matters. Sharing this story, talking about Emmanuel, and keeping awareness alive could help uncover the final missing piece. Because sometimes justice doesn't come from new evidence, it comes from renewed attention. As of this week, no final conclusion has been announced by investigators, but their message remains consistent. The case is ongoing. That phrase carries both heartbreak and hope. It means the file is still open. It means someone is still looking. It means Emmanuel's name is still active in the system, and that matters more than most people realize. When cases like this go cold, stories fade. But not this one, not yet, because people like you are keeping it alive. If there's one thing we've learned after 2 months of uncertainty, it's that silence can delay truth, but it can never erase it. The truth always finds its way through the cracks, through the whispers, through the waiting. And when it finally comes, it won't just bring justice for Emmanuel, it will bring peace to everyone who's carried the story in their hearts. Until then, we keep watching, we keep speaking, we keep believing. Because somewhere, someone knows exactly what happened. And when they come forward, when courage finally beats fear, the world will know too. For now, we stand together, waiting for that moment. 2 months gone, a lifetime of questions. But hope,
still alive. Justice for Emmanuel. Never forget. Truth will speak.